Right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, Introduction to Your IK Dashboard. This is the sixth webinar in the series presented to you by iKhokha. My name is Keelan Joshua, and I'll be the host for this evening's session. And in the session, we are going to be exploring iKhokha's merchant dashboard. We are going to show you some of its features and tools. And hopefully, we're going to be answering the question of what value the IK merchant dashboard can unlock for your business. So our session spanning the next hour is going to be packed with a lot of practical demonstrations. So please do engage with us in the chat, whether you're an existing merchant or you're new to the iKhokha world. We'd love to answer any questions that you might have. Quick overview for the agenda of the session. We're going to start off by hearing from Mark Martis, who you can see on screen. He is the merchant dashboard product manager here at iKhokha, and he's going to take us through the purpose of the dashboard, what problems it can solve for your business. And then we're also going to be hearing from Tawanda Mutamwe, and he's going to demo some of the dashboard's features and tools. So specifically, we're going to show you the sales and settlement history reports, IK invoice tool. We'll do a quick run through of some of the e-commerce features. And then after all of that, we're going to circle back and pick up on some of the questions that you guys might have dropped in the chat. Okay, so without any further ado, allow me to introduce our speakers for this evening. Mark Martis, he has over 10 years of experience in the product space, and he spent the last 2.5 of those years bringing the iKhokha merchant dashboard to life. So there really isn't anyone more qualified to speak on this topic than him, and to answer that question of what value the iKhokha merchant dashboard can bring to your business. And then Tawanda is a star product designer here at iKhokha. He's a problem solver at heart, and he's driven to craft solutions that are meaningful to our merchants. He's also a regular on these webinars and can demo products like no one else. So yeah, Tawanda, Mark, please take it away.
Thank you, Keelan. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to take you through some of the features on a high level, and then Tawanda is going to give you guys a demo and just give you a view of how to access the features. So firstly, we know that getting paid is one of the best feelings in the world, right? It means that your business idea is making money, it's validated, and you're on the journey to become a successful business owner. We know that you need to know when you're going to get paid and how much you're going to get paid. So what we've done is we've made this available via the iKhokha app. It's very easy for you to access your next settlement details from the app. And I'm going to hand over to Tawanda now, and he'll take you through a demo of how to view that on the iKhokha app.
Thanks, Mark. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining. Cool. I'm going to start by sharing my screen. So as Mark mentioned, I'm going to be showing you guys how to access the settlement history through the app. But just before that, I'm also going to show you how to access it through the dashboard. So I'm going to start by logging into the dashboard quickly using my credentials. If you're already an iKhokha merchant, you should have your credentials. If not, you can just go through the forgot password flow using your email address, and you should be able to retrieve your password and log in into the dashboard. The same logins you use on the app are the ones that apply on the dashboard. So I'll start by logging in quickly. Perfect. So I'm logged in into the dashboard. When I land, I'll land on the sales summary page where you've got various widgets or features that give you different information about your business. For the first bit of the demo, I'm going to focus on the next settlement, like Mark mentioned. So you do have this next settlement card right on your dashboard because we believe it's vital to running a business and knowing when your next settlement is coming, because this is quite vital to cash flow. So on the card, you can see how much you're going to get paid and when you can expect to receive that settlement. We've worked with various banks to speed up this process, but you do have this view in the dashboard just to see if there is a delay based on your bank you bank with. You can still see when you can expect that settlement. From here, you can jump into view all, where we just go into a bit more detail about the settlements that were paid out to you. So you have the filter to filter by different months or even years. You can go back as far as the last 2 years if you want to view all that data. And for each settlement, you've got the date, the gross sales that amounted to that settlement, the fees that were deducted, and the settled amount. I would imagine for most of the merchants on the call, these numbers would be much higher. Please excuse uh, our our merchant account, Mark's merchant account, which is struggling a bit. But basically, you'd have the ability to view this information, get into the detail of it. So you've got a statement here with the gross sales. You can drill down into your fees section. So you've got your transaction fees, you've got your settlement fee, you've got your monthly data fees simply. If it applies to you, it will be charged there. You've got a cash advance deduction as well that can appear there, and you've got your total settled amount. So the settled amount you see on the dashboard should be exactly what you get in your bank account, and that makes recon quite easy for you guys, because you can just check on the dashboard what is expected to be paid to you, and that should match what you received in your bank account. And then down here, you have the ability to just see the individual transactions that we paid out, as well as the ability to export this. So we understand you might want to send this to our accountants or do a more deeper recon with using other tools, and you can just export that file. So that's it from the dashboard side. I'm just going to play a video of how to access this on the app. We've made it quite seamless. You don't really need to re-log in. It's all just seamless through the app. So I'm going to play the video for you guys. There won't be any sound, but I'll do my best to talk over it. But basically, you land on your iKhokha app. You go to manage down here on the right. When you land on manage, you now have a new card there, which says sell summary. So if you tap on that sell summary card, that will log you in securely straight into the dashboard. You don't need to re-enter your details. So you see there'll be a bit of a loading, and you land on your dashboard right there. Perfect. So once you land on your sell summary, you can see it's exactly the same as what I was showcasing on the dashboard. You've got your next settlement, and you can dive straight into the detail of the settlement. Or if you just want to check how much money is coming into your bank account tomorrow, you can do that and go back to your app and whatever you were doing. But if you would like to get a bit more detail about the history of your settlements, you have that ability to do that through the app. So you don't really need to come to the dashboard explicitly, but you can access this through the app as well. So that's it for this first bit of the demo. I'll hand back to Mark.
Cool. Thanks very much, Twanda. All right, guys. Now, moving on to the next part of running your business. So you've transacted throughout the month, and you now need to get a document from iKhokha, and you get a tax invoice from iKhokha for tax purposes. And this is also available on the dashboard. We've put together a really easily accessible page for you to download all of your tax invoices. And Twanda's going to take you through that in a minute. But it's something that we do send via email. But we always make the information available to our merchants so that you can get it whenever you need to. Right? We know that you guys are quite busy. This and some of the emails get lost in your inbox. What we'll show you now is just a very easy way to find and download your iKhokha tax invoice.
Right, I'm gonna reshare my screen. Okay, so just coming back to the landing page of the dashboard. So to find your tax invoices is very straightforward. So just using our menu on the left hand, if you navigate to manage my business, you expand that. You have two options to view your profile or view your tax invoices. So if I click on tax invoices, my tax invoices will load. By default, will load the current year's tax invoices, but you do have the option to go back 2 years in the past as well if you need to view all those tax invoices. But by default, we'll show you the current year, and each tax invoice will be loaded in the new month. I believe, Mark, you can help me. It's on the 3rd or the 2nd day of the month of the next month, so it would be available.
Yeah, they're available on the 3rd of each month. If the 3rd falls on a Sunday, then yeah, the next working day, which would be a Monday, or if that's public holiday, a Tuesday. Maybe just want to download one of those invoices, and we can show everybody on the call what's in there. It'll be interesting to get your feedback, guys, and let us know if there's any information that we need to add to these invoices that'll help you manage your business.
Yeah. So this is the invoice, this is the tax invoice. So the top section has all the important details, like your details as the merchant and our details as the iKhokha. And then down here, you've got two important tables. So you've got starting with the fee summary. So this just breaks down all the fees that you were charged by iKhokha for the different payment method that you used. So you got debit card present, you got credit card present, debit card not present, credit card not present, instant EFT, international transaction fees, SIM fee, and settlement fee. So everything is there. It's transparent. You're not left wondering, why iKhokha deducted a certain amount or how much they deducted from your business per month basis. This document summarizes it all for you, and you've got a total there that you can use to recon your books on your side as well. And then down here, you also have a list of all the settlements that we paid out to you. So on top of having it in the dashboard, you have it on this monthly tax document. So you would just list every single settlement that was paid to you, and you have a summation of that total as well. So you can then do a recon to say, okay, the money that I received in my account from iKhokha, does it match what this tax invoice shows? And from there, if there's any discrepancy, you have our details down here that you can use to query or ask any questions. So that would be it from a tax invoice perspective. Yeah.
Well, just a question from our side to the audience. The tax invoice rolls up all of the different transaction types, and like Tawanda showed, you got debit card present and there's a fee for that, and credit card and there's a fee for that. It'd be interesting if you can drop a note in the chat and let us know if it's helpful for you to get the individual transactions that were performed in the month in the tax invoice. And if you need the transactions in the tax invoice, what information do you need with those transactions? Do you need the transaction, the amount that was paid and the transaction fees and the VAT amount? If we could go down to that level of detail, it'll be interesting and helpful for us to then perhaps make an update to the tax invoice. I see a couple of questions coming in on the chat, and we'll try and respond throughout the call. Thanks. All right, we're going to move on to the online payments section of the dashboard, and this is really where we can help you guys generate new revenue streams. So if you're familiar with everything that iKhokha does, we are synonymous with card payment solutions, but we've expanded our offering. So you can also send digital invoices, pay links. You can create buy buttons that you can add to your website. You can do a pay gateway integration. And I'll hand over to Tawanda now to give us a demo of how all of this works.
Cool. I'm going to share my screen again. Cool. So if I return back to my landing page, so from online payments perspective, we have quite a suite of features. I'll be going through two of those options, but feel free to log in to the dashboard and explore the ones that we don't touch on the call. But we've tried to include various options for you to accept payments online using iKhokha. So I'll start with the IK Pay link, which is one of our top online payment methods. So from a pay link perspective, you really have four ways you can, you have four different types of what we call pay links or a payment link. You've got a quick pay link, you've got multiple payment links, you've got donations, and you've got what we're calling a product and services pay link. I'll just stick to the first one, the request quick pay link. But as I've just shown, we have multiple ways of allowing you to accept these payments through a link. I'll just take you through the simple version, which is the request a quick pay link. So this is a one-time link that you can generate, share with your customer, and they can pay you online using that link. So it's a once-off link. But if you do want a recurring link, let's say you have multiple customers that need to pay you through that link, then you'd go through down the request multiple pay link journey. And then from a donations perspective, if you're running if you're collecting donations, there's some special features that we've added into that pay link flow to allow you to accept donations with ease. And then with the product and services pay link, you can actually specify if you are selling some products, whether that's if it's if you have a clothing shop and it's some handbags and shoes, you could select that, hey, I want to generate a pay link for these specific items and share that with your customer, and then the customer can just pay that, and then you've got a record for that. So from a quick pay link perspective, I'm just going to specify an amount here, 120. My reference would be the webinar, and the description would be tips. This would be great if it was real. But yeah, you can create a link right there. And just like that, your link is created. So you have various options. You can email it to your customer. You can WhatsApp it. You can preview the link, which I'll do now. And you can copy the link and paste it wherever you need to. So if I preview the link, then right there, you can just go through our payment journey and pay for this pay link right away, just like that. So it took you less than a minute to generate a pay link, and potentially your customer paying that pay link in the next 2 minutes, and the transaction is over, and the exchange of goods can happen. So that's how simple we've made this process for our customers. And even your customers have the option to pay with their Google Pay as well. So we've tried to include various ways for your customers to pay you. So that's it from a pay link perspective. Like I mentioned, there's multiple versions of this. Please feel free to ask questions, as well as log into the dashboard after the webinar and explore this. We've provided helpful content in there, and yeah, you can ask us questions, and we'll do our best to answer. So for the second bit of the demo, I'm going to walk through the IK invoice. So this is the ability to invoice your customers through the IK dashboard, and they can also pay you through that invoice. So I'll just hop into that. So you've got your dedicated invoice page where you can create an invoice, as well as you got a history of all the invoices that were created and their status. So you can quickly see that this invoice has not been paid, this one has been paid, and you've got all the details you need: the date it was created, the due date, the total amount due. And if your customer maybe lost access to the invoice, which I understand happens a lot, you can come here and click share, and you'd be able to then reshare that particular invoice with your customer. Cool. So if I go back, if I click create invoice, I'm just going to create a dummy invoice just to demonstrate how easy the process is. So I'll put in my customer name, which is going to be Grace. I'll select that. I'll just specify a contact number for them. So I'm just going to put in a contact number here. You do have the option to add additional information if this is required on your invoices, such as the VAT number, the street address, and so forth. So I'll do my best to put in a dummy street address here, just to show that that gets populated in here as well. So that's your first step of 3. So once you're done, you click next. And from here, you can add your line items that will go into your invoice. So previously, you needed to type these manually, but we've actually integrated this with our products and services. So if you have products or services configured within your dashboard, you can just pull them straight to your invoice, which really greatly speeds up this process. So I want to add some services. So you've got the toggle up here between products and services. You have the option to add a new product if it's something that's not already in your list. But for this demo, I'll just pick from what's already existing. So if I navigate to services, I can select my plumbing services. So I've got installation of washing machine, as well as a pipe leak. You can specify the quantity. It might be 2 washing machine installations or 2 pipe leaks. It's up to you. And this is just an example. This will obviously be different for each business. Click add to invoice. Your invoice items are there right away. You do have some actions if you need to edit the quantity or delete it. Maybe you've seen you made an error, or it's not required anymore. You have those actions right there. You click next. Here you can specify your due date of the invoice. By default, it will be the current date. Otherwise, I can specify a date in the future. Select that. We'll generate an automatic invoice number for you. But if you have your own invoice numbers that you use in your business, you can come and add them here. You've got additional notes where I'll just say thank you for your business. But you can add banking details as an example, if that's required, and so forth. But you wouldn't really need to do that because your customers can also pay through this invoice using a link. So you click review. From here, you get a preview of what the invoice is going to look like. This is what your customer is going to receive. You click create invoice, you confirm. And just like that, your invoice is created. It's available to access for your customer. So I'll attempt to share this over WhatsApp. So please bear with me. I'll just click the WhatsApp, click allow, and I'm going to just send it to Mark here on WhatsApp. So there, I've shared the invoice with Mark. This could be your customer over WhatsApp. They have the statement. If they click the link, that link will open. And right away, they can see that invoice. So you don't need to, download a PDF, try and source their email. You could just share this on WhatsApp, because I understand, in today's day and age, there's a lot of communication happening on WhatsApp. So you can leverage this tool even in your current workflow. And if you click pay invoice, then the customer can pay for the invoice right away. So we just load that particular invoice. We know it's for this particular invoice. So when it's paid, we'll also show you that on the dashboard that the status will change from unpaid to paid. So your customer can just go through our payment flow, either with credit card, instant EFT, or like I mentioned, with Google Pay. So just like that, you're able to create an invoice, share it, and receive payment. I think in less than 10 minutes is fair to say that this process took. So it really speeds up, and collecting payments doesn't have to be a hassle. So I'll stop there. And yeah, Mark, if there's anything I missed, please add on.
Thanks very much, Twanda. I think you've covered it quite thoroughly. Yeah, so now moving on to your sales performance, after generating sales, getting paid, or using our online payment solutions, the best way to actually track your sales performance is on the sales summary. So we've put that front and center. So when you log into the dashboard, you've got a view of your sales for the current day. You can switch between the current week, you go back to the current month. It also gives you a comparison of where you were today compared to yesterday. There's some really interesting insights available on that graph, which Twanda will take you through in a minute. And if you're looking to set goals for your business, financial goals, we've also enabled you to set your sales goals and track those against your sales. So I'll hand over to Twanda now so you can take us through the sales graph and the sales target graph.
Okay, can I reshare my screen? Great. So coming to sales performance, like Mark mentioned, we've built a few features to help you track your performance, stretch your business by setting a target, which I'll walk through now. So like Mark mentioned, we've got this graph front and center when you land in the dashboard, because we understand understanding how many sales are happening in your business is one of the key metrics in growing a business or running a business. So right here, you've got your gross sales, you've got your number of sales, you've got your average sale, which are automatically calculated as you perform sales through iKhokha, whether that's on your physical card machine or through the payment method I showed. That will all be fed into this visual and will show you what's happening within the business. So by default, you land on current month, but you have the option to go to the current week and today as well. And then from a graphical perspective, you basically can compare the two periods. So you can compare your current month versus previous month, and you can see if you're doing worse or better than last month. So clearly, for Mark, he's doing much better this month than last month because there was no sales last month. But you can do this on a current month, on a current week basis. So if I click current week and apply, then you just compare current week to last week. So you can see from a week perspective, this week is actually slower than last week. So last week had much more sales. And you've got this two-tip just to dive into the details of what actually happened. So here we can see that compared to last week, we are down about 56 Rand. Compared to the previous week, so you can start to gain those kind of insights if you go on a per day basis. You have that same comparison with today versus yesterday, so you can see how the business is trending on a daily basis if you want to get into that detail, or on a weekly or even on a monthly basis. So you can make decisions about whether the business is growing, whether you need to take action with regards to sales, to boost sales or to run specials and things like that. So that's your gross sales graph, and it's a quick visual. You have access to this on desktop as well as on mobile. So if you're on the move, you find a few minutes, you can log in, check how the business is performing, whether you're out running errands or you are away from your business. You don't have to, call someone and ask how the business is doing. You can just log in yourself, check. You can see how today is going and if it's better than yesterday. So that's from a gross sales perspective. From a sales target, we know setting a target and chasing for it is quite important in growing your sales and achieving higher business success. So we've included a feature just to help you set that up. So right here we've got a target that's already set for 1,000 Rand that recurs monthly, but you have the option to edit this target, which I'll try and do right now. So I can change this. 1,000 Rand might be too low for you. Maybe you want to aim for 5,000 Rand on a weekly basis. You specify that amount, you click update target. That's automatically going to update in within your dashboard. And what we'll do is we'll then show you, based off the sales you have done already, how far you are from that target. So we can see, checking the sales for this week, we're only 5% in, or we've only done 5% of the 5,000. So there's still quite a bit of sales that need to happen. And from a business perspective, you can make decisions whether you need to open an extra hour or open an extra hour late or an extra hour early to boost sales, whatever you need to do. If you need to run marketing campaigns to make sure that you hit that target, this graph is basically giving you that information that you are behind on your target. And we'll show you down here that to reach your target, you need an average of 1,500 per day in the next 3 days. So we even give you the amount that you should aim for per day. So that information you can pass on to your team, and you guys can formulate a plan on how to make sure that you reach that daily target such that you achieve your weekly or your monthly target. So that information is there for you, and you can set the target that makes sense for your business. We haven't restricted this. This is all based on your input. You put it, you set it. If there's a change in plan, maybe the target was too low, you can hop in and update it and place a new target as well. So that's from a sales summary page. That's what you get. But you do have the ability to go into the individual transactions, which we have included down here. So you've got the recent transactions. By default, we'll show you the latest 10 transactions. So if you just want to confirm that a payment occurred, we have that information for you. You can see the date, the time, and the status, which we understand can be quite important for certain businesses who want to confirm that a transaction actually occurred. So you can log in quickly, and if it's approved on the dashboard, you can be rest assured that the transaction was successful. Otherwise, if you want to go into a bit more detail, you've got a link up here to go into the view more, which will take you to a dedicated sales history page. Here you've got much more functionality, right? So you can search for a particular transaction using a reference number or a receipt number. If you want to retrieve some detail about a particular transaction, you can do that through the search. You can export your transaction list for the specified date range. So by default, you land on current month, but you can specify today, current week, last month, or even a custom range. So if you want to specify a custom range, whether it's over 2 months or 3 months, so if I go back, I select the 1st of April, and I come back and select up to today, the 20th, and click apply, then I'm being shown all the transactions within that period. And if I export that, then I would expect all those transactions to be in that report. So the tools in your hands, you can then export this data, use it as you please, as well as filter. If you want to check approved versus declined transactions, you have that ability. If you just want to zoom in on the online payments, perhaps that's what you are interested in, you can filter this table by just online payments and then see the activity there. You have the ability to basically see the transactions per day as well. So now we understand it's quite important to have a tally of the total amount of transactions that occurred in that day. So now you don't have to calculate that. You can just come to the dashboard, check the amount there. We automatically add it up for you for the transactions for that particular day. So that's one less thing you need to do to the dashboard and get that information. From an export perspective, I'll just attempt to open this quickly. So there you have it. You've got all your transactions from the 15th of this will be the 15th of April, because that's when I last had a transaction, even though we selected the 1st. So if you had transactions from the 1st of April, they would obviously be populated. We do list our transactions in reverse chronological order, so the latest ones will be at the top first. You see that on the spreadsheet as well as on the dashboard, because we just understand that works much better. You start with what occurred today, and you work yourself back into the past. So you have all that information. You can run formulas if you need to using the spreadsheet and get the insights that you need. So that's I believe it from a sales summary perspective. Yeah, I think I've covered it. I think there's one other item where you can go into the detail for transaction. So you can see for a particular transaction, you got all the details that you need. You got your date, receipt number, the reference, transaction type. If you have a waiter ID, if you've got different users on your app, that will all pull through here, device ID as well as if there was a tip amount that was specified on the transaction, that will appear here. So it makes it easy for you to do the recon even from a tips perspective for your team. So I'll end there and yeah, hand back over to Mark.
Cool. Thanks very much, Twanda. Thanks for all the questions, guys. Tons of engagement coming through on the chat, and it's amazing to see. We're trying to get to everyone's questions, so if we don't respond immediately, we'll do our best to respond before or after the webinar. Yeah, but please keep the questions coming. The feedback is amazing, and we'll do our best to get you the features you need to run your business. All right, cool. That's it for this evening from a demo perspective, guys. We've pretty much covered everything. If there's anything you need from us, please feel free to contact our support team. We'll drop the support email in the chat and then ask them to put you in touch with me, and I'll gladly assist wherever I can.
Thanks, Mark. And thanks to Wanda for all those demos. I think we've got about 20 minutes left, and I see the social team has been super active, answering as many of the questions as you guys have been sending through. But I think there is some value in this last 20 or so minutes for us to just run through out loud some of the questions. I've noted a few of them. Some of them might have been answered. So I'll just run through a couple of them, and then Mark and Tawanda, if you guys have answers at the moment, we can do it live on the call. Otherwise, we can obviously direct the attendees to the relevant place to get the questions answered rather. Okay, so I've noted one here from ST or Estee. Is there a way to reprint receipts on the new dashboard without having to use the app to resend them to yourself via email?
Yeah,
Mark, you want to take that?
yeah, I can grab that. So Esty, I just wanted to find out the reprinting of the receipts, is that for bookkeeping purposes? You're welcome to just add in the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself, you can do so.
No, he
Um,
can't.
oh,
Yeah,
you
I don't
can't.
think Esther can unmute herself.
Sorry.
Cool.
Sorry.
So maybe she can, Esther, you can respond in the chat, and then we can jump to the next one in the meantime. There's another question here from Cheryl. Why did the tax invoices stop getting emailed to us every month? Oh, I believe this one's been answered, eh? Because there is a follow-up here. We have 4 machines. So do we have to log into 4 different profiles to get 4 different tax summaries? Is that a support query?
It is a support query. It really comes down to how if you've got individual profiles with iKhokha, then yeah, unfortunately you have to log into each one of the profiles to get the tax invoices. But it would be best if support actually provides that
Yeah,
to you.
with further details there. Cool. There's another question here. Are cash payments included on the tax invoice? And then I think along similar lines, I saw you have EFT on the tax invoice, but not on our app. It only gives option for card or cash payments.
Okay, so with the first one, with the cash payments on the invoice, so that IK invoice is a breakdown of the fees that iKhokha, transaction and settlement fees that iKhokha charges the merchant. So iKhokha doesn't charge fees for cash payments, and therefore it won't be included in the tax invoice. I think if you're looking for like a recon of cash payments, then there's probably a different way to do that. But that kind of just explains the information that's on the tax invoice.
There's another one here regarding the stock taking. Is this iKhokha machine is this iKhokha machine can be able to do that? Stock taking on the iKhokha card machines, I suppose, is the question.
Yeah, so at the moment, we don't have the option for stock on the machines, right? It's something that is part of one of the product teams, that's part of their backlog. I think what you're probably looking for there is to, when you load the products, to have that opening stock, and then when you add them to transactions, whether that's online or card payments, you want that stock to automatically burn down against your products. And then you want to come back and do a recon to check if there's any sort of slippage on those stock takes. But yeah, it is part of one of the product team's backlogs.
Is this not related to my products and services then?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's related to that product.
Cool.
So I was just gonna, sorry, Killian. I was just gonna add on that I think we don't have it on the machines yet, but I believe it's something that's in the works. And currently on the dashboard, you can add your products and services. So you can start to load those up and use the online payment methods to attach a particular product or service that you render, and accept payments through that. I think there's still some work in the background to bring that to the physical machines or to the card machines.
Okay, let me grab another one here. If there are multiple items in my store, can one pay link be used to many clients to pay and use just the address, as that's how I differentiate my clients?
Just come again with that question.
So the question reads, if there are multiple items in my store, can one link be used to many clients to pay and use their address, as that's how I differentiate my clients? I suppose in the details for the pay link, if they can, if users can insert the address to differentiate.
Yeah, I believe you can. You can actually, as part of creating that product and service pay link, you can toggle whether you want merchants to, well, your customers to enter personal details. So I believe there is a name and a SAR number. I'll just confirm that, but there is the option for your customers to specify details so that you know who paid you, basically. Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's that one. There's a question here. Is it possible to track spend per customer? I'm not sure what they mean specifically by that.
Um, so there is a way to get a workaround there. Like Tawanda mentioned, when with online payments, you can add the customer details, and we could then, when you do your sales export, we could look at including that as part of the sales export. So we include the customer details, so it'll be easier for you to then track the sales by customer. Um, it'd be interesting just to unpack that a little bit more with the person that mentioned that, to understand like what the requirement would be there, and just like how you would feed that back into your customer relationship management. Like, would you want to track the spend per customer, or is there a very specific um, insight you want to get with that information?
Yeah, maybe they can follow up then. There's another question here around how do I create a payment API on iKhokha as I have joined late on the meeting. I'm not sure. Okay, so it wasn't covered, but I wonder if we can quickly show everyone.
Yeah, 100%. I'll attempt to do that. Fingers crossed. So for a payment, so this is for, and I believe for people who want to accept payments through their personal website or a custom website. So you'd go on payment options and navigate down here to IK Pay API. And then I believe you can then generate a Pay API key and then use that on your custom website. I'm not going to go into the details because I'm not very versed with how it works, but you do have uh, uh, a very robust developer documentation here. So if you log into your dashboard, you go to iKpay API, you can generate the key and then go read the docs to understand how you can then configure that on your side. But we do have the functionality. It does exist within iKhokha.
Cool. I see there's a question here, or a comment rather, saying that on the previous dashboard, the product showed on the sales report, but on the current version, it was removed. Yeah, I don't know if there's any comment on that then.
Yeah, this would be something that we would also bring in with the new MPS products.
Mm.
So as we enable you guys to add products to online payments and the card payments, it'll definitely be a data point that we'll include in the sales history. Um, and this is something that I can pick up with the team at the moment, with the online payments options, and see if we can bring that into the sales history.
Cool. I see there's been a couple of questions on the tax invoice. I know we ran through it. So I don't know if you can just spare a moment to just show everyone quickly again where to find that.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. Let me share my screen again. So from a tax invoice perspective, you just navigate to manage my business, and then under manage my business, you have your tax invoices there. So it's very straightforward. Your tax invoices will load. You just select the which month or which tax invoice you want to see for the specific month, and you can just click to download it. And yeah, it's very straightforward. So if you click download, it's going to be downloaded. And if you open your download, you have your tax invoice right here. So yeah, very, very straightforward through the dashboard.
There's a question here about asking to describe how to print a daily transaction report as it was available on the Biz portal. I think you showed that a little bit earlier, Tawanda, but maybe just one more run through that.
Yeah, 100%. So I believe this speaks to the sales history. Okay. Okay, so if I go back to the dashboard, so you can navigate from the dashboard going to go to your view all, which you see all your transactions, or using your left-hand navigation, you can go to sales history. And up here at the top, you've got your export button. So you can use the filter to select the range that you want to export. So if you're doing this on a daily basis, you can just select today and export those transactions. If it's per week or per month, you can select that range and then click export, and those specific transactions will be exported. And I think I did show the file earlier. Yeah, it's a bit closed now. Let me just re-download it and show that quickly. Okay, there it is. So yeah, that's your sales report, basically all the transactions that occurred within your business from the different payment methods.
Cool. I think perhaps that's maybe all the questions that we've got time for this evening. I know there's a bunch of comments and questions. Some of them are still being answered. For the rest of them, we do have an amazing support team that you can reach out to them via WhatsApp. And we're going to drop that details into the chat now. And then if you are new to iKhokha and you're interested in using these solutions for your business, we do, of course, encourage you to sign up for an account. And as mentioned earlier in the call, you can download our app. We'll also share those links with you in the chat now, so you can follow those links. Yeah, I'm going to just quickly run through a summary of some of the key takeaways from the session. So with the IK Merchant Dashboard, you are able to check your sales and settlement histories. You can create and share invoices with your customers, and then your customers can pay those directly through a pay link. Obviously, Tawanda and Mark took you through all of the amazing e-commerce functionalities in the dashboard as well. So I wonder then, Mark and Tawanda, are there any other final points that you would like to share with the audience?
Yeah, I think the main point is I love working with merchants. I love working with people that want to run a business, and I want to make the dashboard as user-friendly as possible and as useful to you as possible, right? So if there's any feedback you have for me, please reach out to our support team and ask them to put you in touch with me. I'd love to chat to you guys and find out what we can do to make it easier for you to run your business.
And just to add from my side, I think one thing to mention that maybe gets lost in the demo because we're doing it on desktop is all our dashboard is fully mobile responsive, so you don't really have to wait until you get a hold of a laptop. You can open this on your device. It's fully responsive. Everything we've demoed today works on your mobile phone, so you can use it on the go and integrate it into how you run your business. So you don't really have to kind of wait until the end of the day. If you have a few minutes to spare, just log in, check how the business is performing, or if you want to generate a quick pay link, you can do that straight from your mobile. So yeah, that would be my closing advice.
Awesome. Thanks, Tawanda. Thanks, Mark. All right. In that case, I just want to thank everyone for spending the last hour or so with us. I know it's the end of the day and you probably have other things that you would like to get to. Do keep an eye out for our next webinar in the series. And then, of course, thanks to Mark and Tawanda for sharing their expertise with us. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
iKhokha.